welcome back to the videos again. So today I wanted to do a video about how I quit my job and I'm moving to New Zealand. Oh, I'm so excited. I have 10 days to go and then I'm getting on my plane. So this is like a fun story I wanted to share and also a major life change, I guess. And I wanted to share my story of how I got to this point, basically. And I'm leaving in 10 days. I'm so excited. So to give you some context already, if you didn't know, New Zealand has done really well with the coronavirus. It's one of the only countries that has practically eliminated the virus in 7 weeks. Of course, it came back again in another community outbreak, but basically New Zealand has been pretty much corona-free. To give some context, I am currently living in Amsterdam. I've been here for July, end of June basically. And to give a little context to how it all got to this point, I feel like I really have to go back in time. I grew up in Hong Kong, and from Hong Kong I finished high school and I had to go somewhere for university. My family is British, New Zealand, Dutch, so I decided I was going to look in England or the Netherlands for my study, and I ended up choosing the Netherlands. So I chose my university here in Amsterdam to do my studies, and for my study I have to do a lot of overseas internships. I have to do 3. So the first one was in Hong Kong in my second year, and that was quite a short one. And then for the last year you had to go overseas to do 2 6-month internships, so like your last year of your study was completely overseas. So for the first one I was going to New Zealand. So actually I have lived in New Zealand before. I was doing my internship in Auckland, so I have seen actually quite a lot of the New Zealand, the North Island, so on, so I'm not going somewhere unfamiliar. From there I was doing my internship, I was loving it, I met amazing people, I had probably the best time of my life, but I was also having a really hard time, I guess, with myself. And when it got to the point where I had to pick another internship, I had not really even started looking. Reality is that I hadn't really looked, so yeah, that didn't help. So what ended up happening is I went back to Hong Kong for Christmas, and I was hoping that I would find something, be able to go back down to New Zealand. I didn't find something, but I found something in Hong Kong, and honestly that was all I could handle at that point. I was like, right, I just need to do this. And after that I was like, okay, well, I want to go backpacking and I want to go traveling around, but it's COVID, so let me go to Amsterdam first. I was just going to go around Europe for a while, see some friends, catch up, have a nice summer here, and then go off backpacking. Yeah, that plan didn't really work. It's Corona, so everything's shut. Basically, I was in Amsterdam for a while and I decided, okay, this is my time for myself to focus on what I want and doing some reflection, taking some me time, and just taking a pause for a second. Because what I ended up realizing is that I was moving almost every 6 months to a different country. And the funny thing is that it's been 6 months and I'm moving again, but it doesn't matter because it's this time it's a choice. So anyways, December came around and obviously the virus wasn't going anywhere. I'd taken my good sweet time working on myself and, you know, reflecting and deciding what I want, and I just want to keep going exploring and traveling, and that's obviously not happening here, so where can I go? I thought, okay, my best shot is to go somewhere where I can get in my passport. Okay, well, I have a British passport. England? COVID? No. I have Hong Kong residency, so I could go back. But actually in Hong Kong right now they have a 21-day quarantine, so I think it's one of the longest, and you have to pay for it. And even when I get back, it's not new to me, you know, it's home. Like, I love it so much, but it's my home. I need to see something different. New Zealand. I was like, yes, I've decided I'm just going to New Zealand. And then on the 31st of December, New Year's Eve, I told people, I said, look, I'm moving to New Zealand. And they were like, what? I said, yeah, I can do it. Why wouldn't I do it, right? And then I looked at my work, and so I was like, alright, I have to give a calendar month's notice, and it's the 31st of December, which means I cannot give notice till January, so I cannot leave till February. So that already was like, okay, well, I won't be leaving for a bit then. And then I said, okay, I better check the rules, immigration rules. And you can only enter if you're a New Zealand citizen or you have like a critical essential purpose to enter New Zealand, and you have to do managed isolation, which is like New Zealand's isolation system for when you get there. So they have a bunch of hotels which have turned into Corona hotels basically, and you have to quarantine there. Yeah, that's how it works. So I was like, cool, sign me up, I'm on my way, when can I go? And then I went on the website and it's very competitive. I did a little Google search after that, and it turns out that you need to get a voucher to enter New Zealand before you get on the plane for that date. Obviously, when I looked on the calendar, January, February, March, full. It's like, what? I've decided I want to go now. I was like, oh no. Basically, from what I could read, people were hogging the vouchers to give themselves options or something, which is really unfair. And then on top of that, everyone wants to go right now because it's corona free, and if you can go, why wouldn't you, basically? I was refreshing for like an hour, just, you know, like non-stop on this calendar, and suddenly March 7th appeared, and I was like, mine. Bam, got it. And I was like, yes. Moving on, I gave in my notice, I quit my job. I just quit my job. I made it very real. I told everyone I'm leaving, and they're like, okay. I had my voucher, and with that voucher, you have to confirm your flight details within 48 hours, so 2 days, or your voucher goes back into the system. So I had to buy my flight immediately, which was quite stressful because I was working, I think. I've come back from like a really long shift at work, and I got the date at 12 o'clock last night, so I practically got the date and just went to sleep because I've been refreshing for 45 minutes to try and get a better date. And because of the time difference in New Zealand, to be sure, I had to book my flight today or before tomorrow, but I'm working tomorrow, so I had to book it tonight when I got back from work, and I'm so tired from working. I cannot process. I have no plan. I'm going to New Zealand. I can't believe it. Oh, I don't know what to think. I'm too tired to process this. I'm going to New Zealand. Oh, I look like an absolute wreck. I promise I'm okay. Because usually with big flights like that, I would take my time to find better options and everything. But yeah, there's only a few options going right now to New Zealand in the first place, and they're very expensive. I'm so happy I had some savings, because that I would not have found that money out of nowhere. It was like 1,200 euros. That's a large chunk of a restaurant salary, let me tell you that. Anyways, I was like, whatever, it's worth it. I'm getting my flight, you know, I'm not gonna sit around waiting for it to be perfect. I'm young, I'm going. And so I booked my flight and everything, and it was all sorted. And that was like the 3rd of January or something, and I was like, geez, now I have to wait 2 months. I'm very lucky I can go, don't get me wrong, like some people don't even have any option. But I was like, I don't want to wait. So yeah, it felt like forever. It was dragging on. I was at work every week like, when is this gonna be done? I want to go. I want to have my time off to get ready and film things like this and pack my bags, and I just want to go and have my new adventure. Dragged on forever. That's me maybe complaining a little, but it felt like a long time. Then we got around to February, and I was like, oh, it's a month. And then exactly as I called it from the beginning of February, I said, the beginning of February is going to drag on like motherfucker, and then it's going to speed by. And that's exactly what happened. Basically, like my last days at work dragged on for what felt like forever, and I finished in the middle of February, and now time is just flying. It is the 24th, and I am leaving in like 9 days. 9 days? Did I say 10 days? Leaving in 9 days. So yeah, things have sped up major. It's not been the most exciting time here, but it was needed. I had a lot of time to figure myself out and get a little balance and rest. And anyways, I'm really excited. I can't wait to go. It's going to be such an adventure, and I'm going to be quarantining for 2 weeks, which most people will be like, oh my god, you're stuck in jail. But I'm actually really looking forward to it. I can just make videos and work out, and I can work on other projects I have going on that I didn't have time to do whilst I'm working, and then when I get out I'll be super fresh, well rested, and just ready to go on an adventure. And I've got my savings from my work. This is the thing though, having some time to plan was not such a bad thing, because I bought my flight and saved double that, and now I've got a lot of savings in the bank for when I get there, so I'm not in like an immediate rush or panic to find a job to like cover everything as soon as I get there. So honestly, I don't really have a plan. My plan is just to show up. And that's the fun of life, is just showing up and seeing what happens, because how can you make a plan from overseas? You can, but better things can happen if you just let them. And the thing is, people say, well, how long are you staying? You have a job there? You're going there for... I'm like, nah, I don't know. I'm gonna stay there for a while, and once Corona really moves on, or we can travel with a vaccine or something, then I can go around to other places. But meanwhile, it's been pretty uneventful over here. Anyways, thanks for following along, and if you've been following my other videos, I really appreciate it because I love to have a little support. And if you just randomly found this, then thanks for staying to the end. So happy 2021, have a good one, find an adventure, and thank you for watching. Bye!